Just wait and see Rebecca, see if there's anyone else downstairs.
It's like a sore spot. Oh yeah? You give him a hard time?
Nobody else, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I was thinking everybody else up here down
last year.
Oh yeah.
I was like Christian Okoye, Gary Word, you know, like the old school chiefs of the 500s.
You ready?
Yeah.
Or like Schottenheimer era.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Tough couple decades.
Thanks for coming on short notice. We appreciate it. I'm going to introduce Mayor Keller, and then we'll have the chief speak a little bit to provide an update on this investigation. Mayor.
Thanks, Gilbert. So we wanted to field a series of questions and provide an update to the public about the situation regarding the shootings at our elected officials' houses. And first and foremost, these shootings are very serious crimes, regardless of whether anyone was injured. And I stand firmly with our community leaders, and we stand with our public servants no matter what. And in this case, we also know that unfortunately there has been another incident this morning. Former Representative and now Senator Mo Maestas' office also reported shots fired at it this morning, and officers have been on scene. Now, our elected officials have chosen to serve. They should never be made to feel in danger in the comfort of their own homes, nor should anyone. But we are concerned, of course, that these could be connected and that these could be targeted. And that's why it is so important that we're taking this very seriously, and we also need the public's help, and I'm going to talk about some of that in just a moment. Now, for these elected officials, I've personally spoken with each of them, and they have been wonderful in their courage and also their frankness with discussions with officers and availability as the officers gather evidence. We do have some leads, we have gathered some evidence, and we're continuing to investigate and work these cases. We also know it's important not to speculate. Again, we are worried and concerned that these are connected and possibly politically motivated or personally motivated, but we don't know that for a fact, and so it's important also not to speculate beyond the fact that we're looking at those connections. Now, I also know we've been in communication with our state police, who traditionally and sort of jurisdictionally handles safety and investigations of state elected officials, but we're working together with them on this, especially as the upcoming legislative session nears. Now, we're clearly concerned about these incidents, but we also know that we could use the public's help. If you happen to be aware of an elected official and in their office or their house or place of business, and you do see suspicious activity, you can get a license plate, you can get a car description, please report that to Crime Stoppers or to 242 Cops. We also want to ask that on social media. We know that especially in the political world, social media is often a venue for lots of discussion, but specific and credible threats against someone's public safety is a different matter. It is a law enforcement matter. We take that seriously, and we want to hear if you see anything like that occurring on social media sites. Now, as a community and as mayor, this is a high priority for us, and we are, at least right now, grateful that APD is working this, and again, they have various paths and leads that they're going down. But at this time, that's a good segue for me to hand it over to our Chief of Police, who's been monitoring this situation, Chief Medina. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody, for being here. First and foremost, I want to assure all of our elected officials in the Albuquerque metro area that we do take this seriously. We're grateful that nobody has been injured, but we also realize that we have to move quickly. We have assigned a deputy commander to this case. We're implementing what we call a major case protocol, where they will work this nonstop until we could hopefully get this case resolved. We have evidence that we have to process. The evidence hopefully will lead us in the direction of identifying the individuals or individual involved in this incident and hopefully taking them into custody. We will continue to work this case. We will be working with our law enforcement partners. The FBI is here with us today. They've been a great partner when we've had these type of high-profile incidents in the past. We will continue to work to ensure that we do everything we can to ensure the safety of everybody and that the individuals responsible for this are brought to justice. I also want to thank New Mexico State Police. We've been in communication with Chief Johnson. They are aware of the situation, and they're actually assisting us with some of the situations with individuals and make sure that we have safeguarded some of the individuals who fear for their safety. We'll continue to communicate both with state police. We've reached out also to Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department. I have no doubt that Sheriff-elect John Allen will assist us in any of the situations that we encounter. We do know that we have had 2 county commissioners whose homes are targeted. We have two state senators, and we will continue to work to see if we could resolve this case. I think it's important to remember what the mayor said. We don't want to speculate that these are related. The evidence will lead us that way. The investigation hopefully will determine what's related and what's not related. But we want to assure everybody that we are taking this seriously. We are in the process of working on the evidence, and hopefully in the near future we will have some answers as to what's occurring. Just reminding the public, reminding the media, this isn't CSI on TV. It's just not within an hour at the end of the episode where we have answers and we're able to make arrests. But rest assured, we're working on this, and we will move as quickly as possible to get resolution to this situation. Ronald, you have anything?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mayor. Here for the FBI, we're here to support, and I think the Chief said it best. We're here to help follow the evidence, and the evidence is going to lead us to exactly the individual or individuals who are responsible for this. This is something we take extremely seriously. This is our communities. We want to make sure our communities are safe. We want to make sure that our state representatives, our state folks that go out of their way every single day to make sure that this state is much better. This state is a safer place. And we're going to make sure that these individuals come forward, they pay for the crimes that they've already committed, and anything that have potential down the future or down the road is going to stop before it actually happens. So we're committed 100% to working with the mayor's office, we're working with the chief, state police, and any other partner that wants to come forward and help us out with this endeavor. Thank you.
Questions?
Gilbert, if you want.
Aside from the fact that they're all local politicians, is there anything else that leads police authorities to believe these are connected, as far as like vehicle, gun, anything?
I think it's just the fact that it's local elected officials.
Are these drive-by shootings? Do we know?
I don't know that we know all the facts. That's what's part of the investigation. We just know shots were fired at the dwelling in every single case.
And can you speak a little more about the one this morning at Senator Maestas' office?
You want to say anything more about that one?
We do know that we got a report that shots were fired. We currently are right in the middle of that investigation. We are researching ShotSpotter. We are looking for evidence at some of the intersections with our video cameras that are intersections. So we're still very early in that investigation, gathering evidence, trying to see what we can connect to that case. So it's too early for us to tell exactly the impact of what these individuals are trying to accomplish, or who any suspects may be, or how it's related, if it's related. So it's just way too early for us to tell, but we'll continue to work, and hopefully we'll be able to give an update in the near future as to what we discovered from his business. But we did speak to him earlier, and he was concerned that that is his business of record, and that this could potentially be related to all the other cases. So we're taking it serious, and we're looking into it.
Okay. The first two that happened like within a week of each other back in December. At that time, did police believe they were connected? Like, why are we kind of hearing about this now? Was something else develop?
The first two incidents that occur, we didn't know if they were connected. They happened at different times. We weren't able to gather enough evidence at the time to connect those two incidents. We've been processing it, and we're hoping that the additional evidence that has been gathered at the next two scenes is going to help us determine if it's related or not. This is kind of like previous cases we've had, and if you look back in time, we had the Muslim case, and we had one of the incidents that occurred in the fall of that year, and it took months for us to recognize and realize there is a pattern to this. I think that this pattern, where we believe there could be a pattern and bringing us a concern, has happened much smaller amount of time than in the past, and that's why we're bringing it up now. Is that we have ideas that we want to look at, and we want to be proactive and let the public know what we have.
Can I just add one other thing real quick too? The other, I think, because these are public elected officials, their addresses are often public record and out there and easy to find. We've purposely not identified even really with any specificity where they live, and we would ask the media to be careful of that, be cognizant, so we don't want to give anyone any other ideas of where to find these people. But it is something that people may be able to find, so that's concerning as well.
Obviously, you guys don't have a suspect yet, but is there anything that ties these politicians together that police believe could be a motive for this crime?
You know, I think on the surface we could all recognize and see that they are all members of the Democratic Party that we know of. So, you know, there's always that connection, but we don't know, and we have to continue to look and investigate to see if there is a connection. But on the surface, that's one of the things that as a law enforcement agency we're looking at and is a concern to us.
And are other political officials, they've been moved from their homes? Are there some kind of precautions happening there where the police are kind of taking some measures to see if, like, are they, or, you know, is there anything happening on that?
We are in the process of reaching out to all elected officials in the Bernalillo County area and asking them to contact us if they have concerns. We will do an analysis to see what kind of concerns they have, and a determination will be made at that point whether we help these individuals and we provide security of some sort. This is something that the Albuquerque Police Department cannot do alone if the requests are great, and that's why it's important that we rely on our other partners such as New Mexico State Police, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, or even some of our federal partners like the FBI and other federal agencies.
You guys have questions?
I did have a question. I know that it was mentioned in the Metro Crime Initiative, the need to, strengthen punishments for people who, shoot into spaces and crowded spaces. Would incidents like this constitute, or I guess would lead to stricter punishments?
You know, once we have all the details and motives behind it, we'll be able to 100% say that these are one of the areas that we were looking at, and that it is an area where we want to do strengthen state law and bring more consequences. But it's too early for us to tell exactly because we don't have anybody in custody and we don't know an exact motive. So until we have that, it'd be premature for us to say. But in general, yes, we want to get tougher on crime. We want to get tougher on individuals committing gun crime or unlawfully in possession of firearms when they shouldn't be. So we are going to continue to push that overall, that we hold those accountable for violent crime within the city of Albuquerque.
Yes.
For Senator Maestas, damage, what kind of things can you tell us about that? Where, like, was it just on the outside? I was at Senator Lopez's home earlier this morning, and she told me some bullets went all the way to the back of her house. So what kind of weapon as well are we?
I personally haven't seen the police report. I know Deputy Chief Brown is in the back. Maybe he could tell us if there are impacts to the business or any extent of damage. Do you know?
Right now, the officers are still on scene processing that to figure out what exactly occurred and where it's at.
So he was at his office, not his home.
Right.
Okay.
I did have a question just about how, I mean, I can imagine it would be difficult to investigate cases like these unless you have, cameras on the front of the house that can really show you who's driving by and, shooting at these homes and businesses. So what kind of, technology or tools, are law enforcement using to try and track down these suspects?
That's a great question, and I think that one of the things I have to be grateful to for this administration, the mayor has invested over $50 million in technology for the Albuquerque Police Department. We know it's become key in a lot of incidents. We know that we do have shot spotter activations on some of these cases. We do know we have recovered evidence in some of these cases. But there's also just infrastructure that the city has that we've been growing, whether they're intersection cameras or anything else. We're not leaving any stone unturned, and we're going to be looking to see what kind of evidence we can pick up in any of these cases that may help us lead to an individual. I think as a whole, there is no one piece of technology that's going to solve this case, but I think when you look at the technology dump that the Albuquerque Police Department has had under this administration, that all that technology and all that new evidence gathering capabilities is going to be combined, and hopefully it'll give us some kind of direction of who we're looking for and what we're trying to stop.
Anything else?
I do have just one more question, I'm sorry. So, apart from, shootings that seem to be targeting elected leaders, does there seem to be a trend in, shootings at homes in general in our community?
I can't say that. I don't have the data in front of me. We know that we have a gun problem. We know that we have violent crime within the city, and I don't think that it's so much focused on individual homes being hit. Is we have individuals being shot, and we have a record number of homicides. And when you combine all those things, that's why our concern isn't just today. We've talked about this concern since last year when we had the first Metro Crime Initiative, and this all goes back to a year ago. We're working to kind of make differences and kind of stop the trend that was occurring. So we'll continue to work whether their house is being shot at, the person is political or not. Our detectives are out there every single day. Just earlier today, I attended a luncheon, just kind of congratulating and thanking Homicide for their wonderful work last year. We talked with the detectives, we fed them luncheon, and we showed them our appreciation for the hard work they've done. So this is something that's a concern to the community as a whole, and we'll continue to support our officers to do the best job that they can to solve all of these cases.
Any others? Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
I know y'all are really busy. But I had a question. Did you let me know about Yeah. Yeah, we don't necessarily.
Yeah, let me, I was something else for that.
Yeah, but
What's your comment?
that's gonna run on Sunday, so like that stuff I can have on Sunday. So it's not like